All right, what's going on, guys? gdoggcasey here, bringing you another StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm cast. This one's going to be featuring the red Protoss player in the bottom left corner of Iron Fortress. He represents Team All Inspiration, and he is Detiner. And his opponent from the ladder, the blue Protoss player in the bottom right corner of the map, he is Koddar. So we got a PvP going here, and just want to let you guys know, if you want your StarCraft 2 games to be casted, whether it's Heart of the Swarm or Legacy of the Void, feel free to send me the replays in my email at gdoggcasey SC2 @gmail.com, and I will definitely get to casting them for you. Now let's talk a little bit about Detiner. He is an actual real-life buddy of mine. I'm actually the one who got him into StarCraft 2, so he started out about, I don't know, like maybe a year ago at this point, and things moved kind of slow for the beginning part of it, but now, you know, as it is with a lot of games, you kind of hit like a threshold of skill where you're like, oh, okay, now I kind of get things, and he's actually skyrocketed right up to the Platinum League, and he is going to be getting pretty close to Diamond. I'm pretty sure. He actually takes games off of me from time to time, and I'm a Diamond level player, so this is a Plat level matchup on the ladder, and yeah, it's going to be a PvP, so this is definitely an interesting matchup, because so many different variants can come across. Like, it looks like Koddar dropped his gateway down a little bit earlier, and that's going to mean, like, just things for him, and you know, as far as his tech goes, are going to be just a little bit more crisp, I think, just a little quicker. But Detiner's going to have a little bit of a probe lead, and we can already see that with him being up by one probe just for a fraction of a second here, but it's still something that could be pretty good. Oh, actually, probe coming in here and getting absolutely demolished by the whole probe line. That probably is worth it for Koddar. He did lose a little bit of mining time there, but losing that probe is pretty huge, because now it means that Koddar can actually just drop down whatever he wants once the Cyber Core is done, which, again, as mentioned, is going to be a little bit earlier than Detiner's. Now, Detiner is going with the second gas here, and Koddar is staying on one. So this means that it could be a couple things. Either Koddar is going for a really early sort of zealot attack where he's not going to really be using a lot of gas, or he's going to be going for an early expansion. And I kind of feel like it will be the expansion, but who knows, I could be a little bit wrong about that. Detiner, on the other end, is going for the Mothership Core and getting his warp gate as well, and right away dropping a second gateway. So this really screams defense to me, but I'm not a Protoss player, so I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But getting that second gateway is going to be a major help in defending any sort of early aggression that may or may not be coming in. And we can see on Koddar's side of the map dropping 2 extra gateways here, so I think what it's going to be is just a 3-gate, mostly zealot focus attack. He could probably squeeze in a stalker or 2 in that, but oh, getting a 3rd gateway as well, so just straight up 4-gate. Detiner's probe is making its way all the way back around, and unlucky for Koddar, he is actually scouting Detiner late here. He's going to be the last scout, so really not even knowing what Detiner's up to so far. And with this probe getting in here, it's going to spot the 3 gateways, and it might even spot something else in the back here. Counting all 4 gateways is Detiner. There's a forge here as well, which I think is an interesting choice. I'm not too sure how that's going to play into Koddar's plans here, but Detiner now knows he's being 4-gated. So what do we see? Extra gateways going down for him so he can get a solid defense. This Mothership Core is going to be extremely key in defending this. The pylon is down already. We're going to be seeing some warpins come in very soon here for Koddar. And it's going to be up to Detiner to defend this. And his warp gate is just about finished, so he should be good to go. See, it looks like Koddar is just putting a cannon in his mineral line here to defend him against any sort of counterattack, which I don't know if that's necessarily the optimal move, but I understand why it's there, and maybe he's been beat by counterattacks before. But anyway, here come the 4 stalkers. Detiner is ready with his Mothership Core. Photon Overcharge goes off. These stalkers are going to have to get out of here unless they want to sacrifice their lives. Nice little pullback micro there, but Detiner actually has more stalkers. He defends his pylon here and pushes his back. I don't know if Detiner realizes how many more stalkers he has. He could actually just go clean this up right away, but I don't know if it's really going to matter here as we zoom out just a little bit so we can take a look at the entire thing here. More stalkers warping in for Koddar, but then Detiner's going to be warping in his own stalkers as well. So it's like a defensive 4-gate, versus an offensive 4-gate. And eventually Koddar is going to run out of gas, where Detiner will always be able to make some stalkers here. Dropping a pylon over here is Detiner, getting ready for the counterattack as well. So once he cleans this up, which I have a strong feeling he will, you know, he's going to be able to go on the counterattack. But we'll see here. Maybe Koddar will hit us with some amazing micro tricks. And here we go. Detiner pushing out here. Needs to micro back from these Zealots. Taking a little bit of unnecessary damage from the Zealots here. Will eventually take it out. Mothership Core goes down, but Detiner just has so many more Stalkers here, getting right on top of all of Koddar's Stalkers and forcing him back here. Oh, this warp-in is really ambitious coming out of Koddar. Lots of Zealots. So Detiner warping in his own Stalkers to combat these. And with a little bit of stutter step micro, Detiner should be okay against it. Looks like he's struggling just a little bit getting away from these Zealots, but it's not really going to matter in the grand scheme of things. He is still just destroying the Stalkers of Koddar. Even more warp-ins from Koddar here too, and I think this is really too much. At this point, he needs to understand that the 4-gate is not going to work. Nice micro coming here from Detiner. That micro is so important in these Stalker versus Stalker wars here. Zealot getting on top of the Stalkers once again here, but Detiner going to be able to push across, and he's going on the offensive now. This is kind of cute. Bringing the pylon, or the probe here to spot, so he can actually take that out. More Zealots being warped in, but they're pretty much only here to die and buy Koddar a little bit more time, as Detiner is warping in on the other side of the map. And actually, these Zealots are doing a pretty good job buying Koddar time, and back at home, he's going to be able to just warp in on his own front here, but he continues to warp in aggressively. And if Detiner does not realize that these that this pylon is here, he might actually find himself in a little bit of trouble, but we'll see. Looks like he's just going to be running right by it, so he doesn't think that the pylon is up here. And this means that he's going to be left open a little bit at home, especially if he continues to warp in over on this side. I love the addition of a couple sentries here to help out. And dropping the pylon on the high ground as well is always going to be helpful. But Koddar looking like he's getting ready to go. But Detiner's already in Koddar's base, and pylons are going to start going down here. And actually, Koddar just gives out the GG. So that was an excellent scout here from Detiner after losing the initial probe. You know, he sends another one out just to get an idea of what was happening, and having been lucky early in the game getting the first scout, he knew where his opponent was already. And that's the thing in PvP, that initial probe scout is so important, because you really need to know what your opponent is dropping, whether it's going to be a 4-gate, or if it's going to be a Stargate, or if it's going to be a Robo or an expansion. Like, it's incredibly important that you find out what he's doing in all mirror matchups, actually. So very key scout here coming out of Detiner, and that actually wins him the game. So nicely done. I'm really happy with that performance there from Detiner. And guys, again, as always, if you want me to cast your replays, make sure you send me an email, gdoggcasey, SC2 @gmail.com, and I'll get to casting them. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys later.